Hey, what's going on? Let's shoot a quick video about Auburn Rubber vehicles. These are three vehicles produced by Auburn Rubber. Auburn Rubber Company was a successful and productive toy company in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Um, this is my favorite truck right here. So these uh, these cars definitely predate me. I never owned these cars, as my personal cars to play with. Uh, but I had many aunts who had little cardboard boxes that they would keep in their hall closets that would typically be full of what was left from my older cousins' toys after they, grew up, went to college, and left the house. So, as I said, I had a lot of aunts. My family was Portuguese American and Catholic, and I had 13 aunts and uncles. Isn't that crazy? Just on my mother's side. Um, so, these people were older and they had grown up during the Depression. Um, they had purchased these toys. Whoa, we almost lost our camera. They had purchased these toys when they first were new. My aunts for their children, my cousins in the 50s, more likely 1950s. I love this car. Oh, so that let's keep note of what we've got here. So that first truck we looked at is Auburn 508, right? Um, and so then we have this police car. So I remember playing with these when I was little, and I mean like 3 or 4 or 5. Um, so I had a aunts that had these. This is 576, um, and a number of them. I mean, this was kind of commonplace stuff back in the day. These little rubber and even plastic cars came later. Um, like I mentioned in an earlier video, these rubber cars were inexpensive to produce and they were inexpensive to purchase back in the day. And they were kind of a solution to, or a option, a marketing solution, I would say, by companies like Auburn, an option to the larger scale metal trucks and cars that were very popular. So these cars and trucks, as you can see the size of them, they're all about 4.5 inches long. These are I guess would consider these would be pocket size. So this is a size of a rubber truck or plastic truck. These are rubber, that a little kid could carry around with him when mom goes out shopping on a shopping trip. This is a little truck that he can have with him in the car in the back seat, and that he can have with him in the basket. This is 614 while they're shopping. He can drop it, and it's not gonna scratch the floor or make a loud noise or bang. And look at the detail. Yeah. Uh, in addition to all the stuff we're talking about the marketing and my personal experience with these toys were finely made, finely molded and sculpted. Um, this is 614. As I mentioned earlier, one of the characteristics of an Auburn vehicle are these being able to see drivers or passengers in the side windows. Definitely some added character and charm to the vehicles. I mean, I know when I was a kid and, later on with playing with toys that were new at the time, like Matchbox cars, anytime you had a Matchbox car that had a person inside of it, I mean, that was really cool to me. That was like your favorite one because that's like an actual person driving the car. Um, but in this case, like those, remember how those early Matchbox cars had people in them sometimes? But in this case, Auburn frequently had uh, drivers depicted in the side. So Auburn rubber vehicles. They're soft rubber. You can see how I'm able to move this around. If you do purchase these, this one's still a little dirty on the inside. when you can wash them like in a warm soapy water in the sink, and they will really, you need to be careful because they will really become pliable. So I think this is interesting because this car, after all these years, like, I mean, we're talking like 60 years, probably 65 years. I mean, this is an old car. Uh, After all those years, it still has a bit of flash remaining from where this was attached to a sprue at one point, I believe, in my opinion. Or that's a bit of injection molding left over. I mean, that's pretty cool. So while we're here, as we end up the video, as I said, these are fairly inexpensive and they're plentiful. Uh, they were popular. They produced a lot and sold a lot. So you can find these. Um, we're going to just take a look at the basic structure of the car. As I said, all soft rubber. They have metal axles, hard plastic wheels. Wheels are typically white or yellow, the ones that I've seen, and then some are just regular black. These cars come in all different colors. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I mean, there's so many different Auburn Rubber vehicles that if this were something that interested you, this alone could be a consuming hobby and a fun hobby. And as I said, I mentioned the word charming earlier. I think I used that maybe in a couple videos back or something, and when I was talking about Renwall plastic. So there is charm, there is class, and charm with these rubber cars, in my opinion. So I played with these when I was little. They were in my Portuguese aunt's hall closets and laundry rooms, in little cardboard boxes, typically with Marx dinosaurs, um, and other Marx figures, typically the large, 6-inch Marx figures. These were all some of my earliest toys growing up in the late 60s. Well, if you lasted this long, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.